Electro company, a large listed company based in Europe, is expecting to borrow 22 million euros in 4 months' time on 1st of May. It expects to make a full repayment of the borrowed amount 9 months from now. Currently, there is uncertainty in the market with higher than normal rates of inflation, but an expectation that inflation level may soon come down. This has led some economists to predict a rise in interest rates and others suggesting an changed outlook or maybe even small fall in interest rates for the next 6 months. Let us summarize that. Please, can you all participate so that we produce this answer together? Let's all participate. So I expect all of you to be giving me the details of the question. I expect all of you to participate in giving me the details. Let's go. Okay, let's go. The name of our company. Company. What's the date today?
1st May.
1st May. What is the transaction type? What's the transaction date? What's the duration of the transaction? Elector is expecting to borrow in 4 months' time on 1st of May. This one has we need to change this one.
Yeah, I was about to mention that you have not
no, you didn't mention. I was waiting. Okay, that's okay. That's okay. We are learning, yeah? So in 4 months' time, so if 1st May is 4 months' time, then where are we here? That is end of April or 1st of May. So where are we? Where are we then? Where are we? Is that okay?
December.
Is that okay? Can you say 1st January?
Yeah,
it's
that's
fine.
correct. 1st January.
So now, you want to borrow money for how long? It expects to make a full payment borrowed amount 9 months from now. So you want to borrow in how many months' time? 4 months. In 4 months you borrow. Then you want to repay 9 months from now. So what's the duration of the transaction?
5 months.
5 months.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. You know, you can imagine, that is why I like summarizing this, because if you don't summarize, you know, you can get mixed up. You can really get mixed up. And what is the transaction amount? Now from there, we have our story. Let's go back. Although a lecturer is of the opinion that it is equally likely that interest rates could increase or fall by 0.5 in 4 months' time, it wishes to protect itself from interest rate fluctuation by using derivatives. The company can borrow at LIBOR plus 80 basis points, and LIBOR is currently 3.3. The company is considering using interest rate futures, options on interest rate futures, or interest rate collars as possible hedging choices. The following information and costs on appropriate exchange are provided on euro futures and options. Margin requirements may be ignored. 3 months euro futures. So let's go. We are going to use the futures first. Are we together, people? Please get involved. Get involved. This is not difficult.
Yes.
Get involved. This is not difficult. This is not difficult at all. Let's use our small little format. Do you remember the format now? I want you to participate. Futures hedge. Futures hedge. We go. Step 1. What's the first question that we ask ourselves?
Buy or sell.
Yes, you're right. Are you going to buy or sell futures? Who is going to help us here?
Okay, I came up with selling.
Come again, we have missed that.
So we are going to be selling.
Yes, because a borrower does what? What does a borrower do? They sell bonds. So here, that's it. What of month? Which one are you going to pick? When is our transaction date? Our transaction date is it? 1st of May. So which one do you pick here?
June.
Excellent. You see, you are there. Number of contracts. Do you want Mr. P to get involved in calculating number of contracts? No?
36.
Okay. One of our friends has found the answer already.
22.
26. On the side, you can tell us what you did. Or 36. On the side, you tell us what you did.
This is what I found, but I did 22 divided by the contract amount, then multiplied by 5/3.
Excellent. Colleagues, interest rate risk management is quite mechanical. It's quite mechanical. And your friends have saved time in the exam on this.
The contract amount.
The contract amount is 1 million. Is it 1 million? Yes, there it is. What's step number 2? Who will tell us step number 2? Who will tell us step number 2?
closing rate.
The closing rates, okay? We need them, now we need that, I need to copy in some information in this section here. Let me copy in some information. The information is, here, this fluctuation. So the information is here. I need the information. Okay. So the interest rates can increase or fall by 0.5%. Now the person who was talking about the scenarios, please notice the concept of the scenarios. Was somebody who was talking scenarios? Look at how the scenarios are created. And probably let's look at those. So let's refer to the question as we create scenarios. Based on the three hedging choices, a lector is considering and assuming that the company does not face any basis risk, recommend a hedging strategy for the 22 million, support your recommendations with appropriate comments and relevant calculations. Okay, so that is what we are looking at. And we are told here that there's a likelihood that the interest rates can increase or fall by 0.5 in 4 months' time, and to protect itself from this fluctuation. So now, let us demonstrate what would happen. So we've got your scenario A and your scenario B. Okay. I want to copy some formats which are already here. Yeah, I want to copy the formats which are already here. That's your A and B. Now, how do we calculate the closing rates? We use the same concept, basis risk. We use the same concept of basis risk. And you've got your small working here. Your working is here. Let's put our working here. What's our day today? Today is what? First of what? When is our transaction date? When is the expiry date of your products? Now I want you to help me with let's go here. From 1st January to 30th June. How many months are there? How many months from there to there? 6. Let's go to the futures. What's the price implied by the futures? Your futures are here. What is the price implied by these futures? 100 minus what? Isn't it?
Yes, it's 3.8.
Okay. $3.84. Are we happy people about that? So here I put
Yes.
3.84. Here, what have they called their rates? What's the rate here? The LIBOR. They're using the LIBOR. The LIBOR is currently now what? 3.3. So let's use the correct terminology. Here they're using the concept of the LIBOR, which is what? 3.3. So what is the basis?
0.5.
This is the basis. And what assumption are we making? The basis will drop at a constant rate over the next 6 months. And by the time we reach end of June, there will be no different. The basis will be what? Will be 0. So we're making an assumption that the basis will drop at a constant rate. In reality, that may not happen, and that's what we call what? Basis risk. Scenario A, interest rates have gone up.
Mr. Perry, moment there on the LIBOR rate, there is that 80 basis points that is saying it might go up by. Do we not add that to the 3.3 on the note?
You are right. So scenario A, the interest rates may go up by what percentage? 0.5. That's your scenario A. 3.3 plus 0.5, that's it.
Mr.
What
Perry,
of
can
here?
you go back to the note?
The 0.8 is the adjustment factor. When you go and borrow, they pick whatever LIBOR it is, and then they add a 0.8. So this happens at the point of borrowing. But in the markets, in your markets, there's a likelihood that your interest rates may increase or fall by 0.5% from 3.3. So it can go up by 0.5 to 3.8. Or it may go down by 0.5. So the expected interest rates could either scenario A, scenario B. Now, to this, that's when they will add 80 basis points when you're borrowing. Have you followed? Hello, Mama, have you followed?
Yes, I've followed. Maybe let's go to let's continue, then I'll see how the 80 basis points are
I agree with you. So now here, plus 0.5 minus 0.5. On 1st of May, how many months do we have to the end of June? How many months?
2 months.
2 months. So 2 over 6 multiplied by 0.54. What do you have? $18. So what is the balancing figure here and there? What are the balancing figures here?
3.98.
Have you seen that it's not difficult to calculate these rates? So these are the closing prices for your futures. These are your closing prices for the futures. Is it Paul was asking? Is the picture developing now?
Yes, sir.
It is, eh? Yeah. Then from there, what happens? What next? From there, what happens? What's the next item? You are done. Isn't it so? Huh? We are done. From there, we are done. And that's the beauty of a spreadsheet. Eh? That's the beauty of the spreadsheet. Let's go. Let's get started. This time around, what are you doing as a borrower? What are we doing as a borrower? You are going to pay. As a borrower, when you borrow money, you sell a bond, you pay interest. So let's go. Futures. What is the price for futures? 3 point. You pay 3.84. You receive 3.98. Here, have we seen where the figures have come from? Have we seen where the figures have come from?
Okay, I've got lost on the 3.84. Where did we get it from?
Okay. The futures price today is 3.84. You got it?
Yes.
This is the opening price for the futures, and that's the closing rate for the futures. Now, what is a new label? New label 3.8 and there 2.8. The adjustment factor 0.8 and there 0.8. The results from the futures. Results from the futures. Here you have made a profit. So you reduce the cost then. Yeah. Here you have made a loss. These are expenses. This is interest paid. So when you have made a profit to reduce the cost, you have made the loss, you increase the cost. Have you seen where the 0.8 is coming? Have you seen where the 0.8 come in? Was it who was asking about 0.8? Let's be asking questions. Let us be asking questions.
Okay, what's and the net
Let's be asking the questions. I'm waiting for questions. Or it's a poor network maybe, which is hindering our communication. Okay. Okay, I know you are tired, but let's just conclude this part of the work. Let's do our options. We realize you're tired now. We realize
Mr.
you're...
P,
Yes, madam.
I made a mistake on the closing rate. So just
Yes.
a word of caution
Yes.
to others.
Yes.
I was a bit casual with
Yes.
where I put 2.8 and 3.8.
Yes.
Instead of putting it as LIBOR, I put it as futures. So the answer I got was totally different.
Ah, okay. Okay. People, you have heard that, eh? That submission there. The beauty with this is you can benefit from the work that you have already done. Let us set up here together. I put an option here. The option is here. Let us set up. I'll be asking the questions. Is it a call or a put? Is it a call or a put? Answer?
A put.
Excellent. Now you have. Okay. Expiry date again. It's the one expiring when? June. Number of contracts? 36. What are the two rates implied by this? I'm sure now we don't need a calculation. What's the first one is what rate there? 4. The other one is what? 3.5. What are the premiums? Can somebody read the premiums for us? What are the premiums? At 4%, what's the premium?
three?
Okay, are we all happy with that? We are done. What of the rates? What of the rates? The rates. Okay, let us sort out this now. Remember that time. So the exercise rates, how many do you have on this scenario? You've got 4 and 3.5. Okay, again 4 and 3.5. What of the closing rate? Under A, the closing rate is what? And there, now, let's answer this together. Let's answer the questions together. This time is right to borrow. You got the right to borrow at how much? 4%. In the market, it's how much? 3.98. Are you going to use your right? Are you going to use your right?
No.
You have a right to borrow at 3.5. In the market, 3.98. Are you going to use your right?
Yes.
What of here? You have a right to borrow at 4. The market is 2.98. Are you going to use your right?
No.
And there? No.
No.
Hmm. So here, won't exercise. There, won't exercise. The only one where you exercise is this one. You exercise to borrow at 3.50, and therefore you have made a profit 0.48. What is the net outcome? The new base rate there, 3.8, and there 3.8, there 2.8, and there 2.8. The adjustment factor, 0.8. That's the adjustment factor, isn't it? Results from the options, everywhere there's nothing. What are your premiums? Premiums are expenses. So what's the premium for 4? Let's check. 0.163. 0.163. What of for 3.5? 0.581. There we are. Remember, this one is a payment, so the premium are added. Only here I need to, there's a profit here, so this one should come in as a what? It reduces. I've made a profit. I've made a profit there, so that one should come in as well. So I want to share these two options. We'll leave out the colors. We'll leave out the color. I want to share these two worksheets so that at your own pace as well, you can come back and look at the work we have done on futures and also the work that we have done on the options. Now it's time for questions. You can ask for clarifications. So between these two instruments, futures and options, which one can we use? Which one do you think is better? Futures 4.46, huh? What of options? Options, this one is high, that one is high. Here, the option is okay, and there the option is okay. So how can you explain this? Under the futures, we have fixed Under the futures, the use of futures, we are fixed. That's the interest you're going to pay. Under options, we have seen that this is good and that is good. What explains this? Huh? What is the explanation? We have benefited from the favorable movement. When there was drop in interest rate, we have benefited. Have you seen the point there? Have you seen how I benefited? So I hope we have seen. So the good thing with options is that they have allowed us to benefit from the favorable movements. But we know that there's an adverse movement. If you expect that you have an adverse movement, there's no need of using an option. Options should only be used if you suspect there's what? A favorable movement and you want to benefit from this favorable movement. So we only use option when we expect a favorable movement and you strongly feel that there's a very high chance of getting a favorable movement. Otherwise, just use futures, because we have seen that futures will fix at 4.46. All right, people, I know that you are tired. This is how far we go today. Okay. So I'll share these two worksheets that we have worked on. I'll label them and share them so that you can spend some time going through them. You have some work to do. Remember the question called A1. You want to go back to A1 and head using the concept of options. Go through this question because next we have now to look at the collar. Let's set up a collar on this particular question. Let's set up a collar on this question. Okay? What time is our meeting tomorrow? What time is our meeting tomorrow?
16 hours.
Or 16 hours, yeah? It goes up to what time?
19.
19, eh? Yeah. So 16 hours, 19 tomorrow, please. Can we all log on so that we can look at the callers? After I finish looking at the callers, I also look at an interest rate swap. So tomorrow we'll also do an interest rate swap to show how you can set up an interest rate calculation. Right, good night to all of you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, you too.